Oh, hey everyone. Thanks for joining me for the second part of our Muppet Art Changes Perceptions lesson. So, last week we all learned about artist Jim Henson and what it took to be a puppeteer in the entertainment industry. I have a brief video I wanted to share about him, and then after that, I will go over what you need to do for this week. Enjoy.
Jim Henson was a true artist. It was a remarkable body of work. It was something that had never been done before in quite the same way, and I'm sure will never ever be done again.
Jim Henson was born on September 24, 1936, in Greenville, Mississippi, and spent his teen years in suburban Washington, D.C.
When he was 17, he saw an advertisement for a children's television show that was looking for young puppeteers. He didn't know anything about puppetry, so he went to the library, he got a couple books, and he made some puppets, auditioned, and got the part.
By his freshman year at the University of Maryland, Henson had his own 5-minute show, Sam and Friends, where Kermit the Frog made his debut. Jim recruited a fellow student, Jane Nebel, to assist him on the show. Jim and Jane were married in 1959 and had 5 children, all of whom work in the family trade.
My parents really wanted all of us to learn the trade, learn the craft, know what we were doing, really understand how the company worked, but also how to really puppeteer and how to build puppets.
In 1963, Henson hired 19-year-old Frank Oz to help with the Jimmy Dean Show, where Rolf the dog was featured weekly.
Whether it was Bert and Ernie on Sesame Street, or Kermit and Piggy, or Kermit and Fozzie on The Muppet Show, or any number of other combinations in which they worked. It was just, those of us who would be on the set when they were working together, generally it became a very bad working environment because everybody was laughing so hard.
In 1968, Henson was approached to work on a new children's show. Sesame Street premiered on November 10, 1969, and won a Peabody Award and 3 Emmys its first season.
They didn't really expect incredible the way that it was embraced by the public. Big Bird was on the cover of Time magazine. He was out hosting the Emmys. He was doing all kinds of stuff.
After 5 years on Sesame Street, Jim wanted to break into primetime family television. Both ABC and CBS passed on The Muppet Show, which would go on to be nominated for Outstanding Variety, Music, or Comedy Emmy each of its 5 seasons, winning in 1978.
It was translated into many different languages and was in over 120 countries very quickly.
In 1979, Kermit and the gang hit the big screen in The Muppet Movie, the first of their 3 feature films during Henson's lifetime. Henson spent the early 80s developing the fantasy film The Dark Crystal and the children's show Fraggle Rock. The Fraggles were broadcast around the world and won 5 international Emmys. However, both The Dark Crystal and Henson's other fantasy film, The Labyrinth, initially failed to impress critics and audiences.
But over the years, they have found their audience, and people can recognize the honesty, the heart, the soul that went into both of these films. They really meant a lot to my dad, and they're beautiful pieces of work.
After a very short, sudden illness, Jim Henson died on May 16, 1990, in New York City.
It was a shock to everybody. Nobody thought that he was that sick. It was a very, very fast illness. It took him very quickly.
He left such a huge legacy, and he touched so many people, not just audiences, but the people he worked with, that in the last 20-some-odd years, it's really been a celebration of Jim that has continued, and new generations still connect with him, but mostly with the work.
Last week, you let us know what Muppet you related with. This time, you are going to start sketching your ideas, and you have 2 options. The first option, you can take one of the faceless images provided in the template in Seesaw and digitally draw yourself as that Muppet using Art Studio app. Or 2, draw yourself in pencil on a blank sheet of paper in your sketchbook as a Muppet. Do your best. Before I get started, I wanted to share a little demonstration if you decide to do a digital version of your sketch. I was checking the templates on Seesaw, and I think this is the one that suits me the best. Looks almost just like me. All I have to do is add a few facial details and a shirt, and I should be all right. Here, enjoy the screencast. All right, hi kids. I am on my iPad and I'm going to share with you a walkthrough as to if you pick one of those Muppets on the template and if you want to draw on that. First, go to Art Studio. If you don't have a new page, if you drew on your file, go to File and go to New. I already did that, so I have a nice blank white sheet here. Ta-da! Then, to import from your photos, or to get the picture from Seesaw, place it in your photo gallery, go to Import from Photos. I already had the photo a while ago. I have it here. There you go. Now, I could draw directly on it, but I think it's a good idea to go to the bottom left-hand corner to the stack of paper by the hearts and add, with the plus sign, another layer. See how it's highlighted in blue? So when I start drawing, it's not drawing on the actual photo, it's drawing on a clear sheet of paper above the photo. I'm gonna start off with, so remember, this is your sketch. This is not the final. This is perfect because it already has a mouth. It already has ears. I'm going to give it clothing. I'm gonna make this Muppet look more like me. I'm gonna start with the eyes. But the cool thing about this, when I start the eyes, I'm gonna just draw the eyeglasses. Gonna go to the fill bucket. Going to go to white. There you go. Oh wait. Then I'm still on white. I'm drawing the frame. I'm not too worried about cleanliness because I'm gonna go to the fill bucket again and then tap that. Now if I wanted, I see a couple parts. It's a little shaky. Right? It's like, okay, good. There I go. Then maybe the side of my glasses. Oh, you don't really need to see it there. Now my hair. Muppets are fun. There's different colors. I should stick with dark hair. I'll stick with black. But really, if you're like someone who would always wanted purple hair, this is the project to like try it out. Remember, this is a digital sketch. I'm going to draw little bumps. Maybe off to the side too, but even thinner on the side. And then I'm going to use the fill bucket again, so I don't have to spend too much time coloring that in. Okay, I am going to add another layer, and that's for my shirt. I'm going to add a collar. This is going to be one of my short sleeve shirts. If you just want to trace the outline of the Muppet, that is completely fine. Because I added it on a different layer, I could change the color, right? So what color shirt do I want to wear today? How about this light blue? Yeah, that's pretty bright. And then I want to clean up some of the lines there, like this one. Sometimes during the fall and winter, I like wearing short sleeve shirts, but I place, not that you need to know this, but I'm telling you anyways, I wear a long sleeve shirt underneath. So notice what I did. I added a layer and I placed it underneath the blue shirt. I am going to, okay, it's a Muppet. I'm gonna make it fun. I'm gonna make it a red undershirt, a long sleeve shirt. So you see it there. So my Muppet can be nice and warm on these cold fall days. Oh, what happened? Oh, there we go. And there's my sketch of myself as a Muppet. I could add a nose, but I don't want to. Some Muppets don't have noses. If you decide on, instead of using one of these photos, go ahead and draw it from scratch. Remember, this is the beginning stage, so don't feel the need to start your final, okay? This is just the sketch. If you feel like you need to do more than one, go ahead, okay? Don't spend too much. If you're happy with your first sketch, as I am, you can just wait till next week for the final steps, okay? Remember, what are some details you can add to your drawing that will allow the audience to know it's you, but still show that it's a Muppet? Once you are done with either the sketch or digital sketch, share your work on Seesaw to your art teacher so they can see your progress. I hope you have a Muppetational time. Yay!